Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to week 8 of Math for Grades, first and second grade. For today's lesson, you will need your pencil, paper, and a positive attitude. For those of you who have tuned in before, you know that I am Miss Ward, a kindergarten first grade teacher for Houston Independent School District. In today's lesson, we will be going through the introduction, the warm up, the vocabulary words, the number of the day, and our math lesson. The objective that we will cover today will be organizing a collection of data with up to 4 categories using pictographs and bar graphs with intervals of 1 or more. For our warm up today, boys and girls, we're going to start by reviewing skip counting. We will be skip counting from 10 to 120. So go ahead and find a space where you can stretch out. Remember, when you get your blood flowing, it helps you retain the information in your brain. So let's get up and get moving.
For our warm up today, we're going to be skip counting from 0 to 120. I need you to stand up nice and tall, tall like a soldier, and we're going to be using the body actions of head, shoulders, knees, and toes. I'm going to say the number, and when I say the number, you're going to go in order, touching your head, shoulders, knees, toes. I want you to count along with me. We're going to be starting with 0 going up to 120. Ready? Stand nice and tall. Get ready, magical mathematicians, and let's go. 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. You made it. Give yourself a pat on the back. Now that you have it down packed, we're going to try it one more time. This time we're going to try it a little faster. Are you ready? Let's go. 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. Great job.
Wonderful job, skip counting, boys and girls. And here is the introduction to our vocabulary. Here is some of the words that you're going to hear me using in today's lesson. You will hear words like data. Data is just a synonym or another name for information. You will hear me talk about bar graphs. A bar graph is a graph that uses bars to show comparisons between categories. You will hear pictograph. A pictograph is a graph that uses pictures to compare the data. A key is the part of a graph that tells the values of each picture or symbol. Survey. A survey is a way to collect the data by asking a group of people the same questions. Tally chart. A tally chart is a chart used to organize and keep track of the data by marking individual responses with a straight line. And interval. Interval is the constant difference between numbers on an axis. And now we're going to begin with our number of the day. For our number of the day, today we are starting with the number 52. You're going to come up with on your paper as many ways as you can think of to create the number 52. Think about some of the previous lessons that we've had. We've been talking about how to show numbers using standard form, expanded form, word form, number sentences, addition, subtraction, part, whole. I want you to consider all of those ways and more as you show me ways to represent the number 52 on your paper. Are you ready? I have the timer set. 2 minutes is on the clock. You have 2 minutes to show what you know. Let's go. How many different ways can you come up with to show 52? Remember, I definitely want you to reflect back on the most recent ways we have discussed. Be sure to show me standard form where you're using place value blocks to represent the number. Word form where you're writing the number out using words. Expanded form means you're showing the value of each digit and then placing it in an addition number sentence. Remember, you can show the number using money. You have less than 1 minute. What other ways can you think of that you can show the number 52? Keep working, mathematicians. You're doing such a wonderful job, first and second graders. I'm going to share with you the different ways that I created the number 52, and I can't wait to see all of the ways that you are going to be able to compose and decompose this number on your paper. Just 10 seconds. Don't stop writing now. Keep going. You can do it. And we know what that sound means. That siren is letting us know that time is up. Let's take a look at some of the ways we came up with. I showed the number 52 in word form. Did you show the number 52 in word form? When you write 52 using words, you spell 52 with the Fiftytwo. If you put that on your paper, give your brain a kiss. If not, be sure to add it onto your paper. Next, I used a number sentence. My number sentence was represented in expanded form. In expanded form, when I show the number 52, I have 50 plus 2 equals 52. Then I showed 10 less. So for my subtraction sentence, I wrote 52 minus 10, or take away 10, equals 42. And lastly, I drew a picture, which is showing standard form, and that standard form is showing the number 52 using place value blocks. Here I use my tens and ones. So we know each of these bars is representing 10. So we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 51, 52. Now, boys and girls, we are talking about how do we organize information. When we're collecting data or information, what is the steps that we need to use before we can create a chart? First, we have to pick a topic. So we have to decide what is the main thing we are talking about. Next, we're going to select our choices. And lastly, we gather the data and then present the information. So what does that mean? Well, step one says pick a topic. So for example, I might be talking about colors. So if my topic is colors, next I want to come up with the choices. What are the choices that I want to survey my people about? If I just ask them their favorite color, I might get lots of answers like pink and purple and orange and tangerine, raspberry, hot pink, black, white, but I can narrow the choices by giving them specific choices to choose from. So I can ask them, what is your favorite color? Red, black, blue, or green? Then I want to gather my data. So once I've asked them these questions, I want to find a way to represent their answers and to collect all of their answers. So we're going to start today by organizing information into a tally graph. Here, for my topic, I asked my students in my class what was their favorite type of ice cream. So my topic was ice cream. My title is favorite types of ice cream. The choices I gave them was vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, and cookies and cream. Then you see here on a tally chart, you use tally marks to represent the answers. So each time a person selected one of the choices, I put a line to represent a person picked it. When we are using tally marks, we know we use one line to represent each number. When we get to the number 5 or a multiple of 5, we draw the line going across. So every time we see a line going across the lines, we know that it is a multiple of 5. So when we take a look at vanilla, how many of my students selected vanilla as their favorite type of ice cream? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, 6 students selected vanilla as their favorite type of ice cream. What about chocolate? I see 5, 6, 7. 7 students selected chocolate. How many students selected strawberry? Yes, 3 students selected strawberry. And lastly, how many students selected cookies and cream? You can tell that 4 students selected cookies and cream. So in order to create this tally chart, I came up with my topic, which was favorite types of ice cream. I came up with choices. My choices were vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, and cookies and cream. Then I chose how I was going to gather the information. So I did a survey and put the results using tally marks. So each line represented one person's choices. Now, how can I gather this information and use this same information to create a pictograph? I'm glad you asked. We're going to use this data, boys and girls, to create our own pictograph. So here I've already gathered my information. I know that my topic is favorite types of ice cream. I have my choices. I have surveyed the people and I have written down their responses. So how do I take that and make it into a pictograph? Well, first I start with my title. The title of this graph is favorite types of ice cream. Next, I want to list my choices. So my choices for the ice cream was vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, and cookies and cream. Now on the tally graph, I use tally marks to represent their choices. So if it is a pictograph, I'm going to use pictures to represent their choices. So one word you already heard me say was a key. If you're going to use pictures or symbols, you have to use a key to let people know what each picture or symbol means or stands for. So since I'm talking about ice cream, I'm going to use the symbol of ice cream cones. So on my key at the bottom of the chart, I'm going to identify that each cone equals one person. So my key shows me that each ice cream cone means one person selected it. Now I can look at the information I gathered. How many people selected vanilla? 6. So how many cones do I need for vanilla? We're going to need 6 cones for vanilla. Click too fast. The next one is chocolate. How many people selected chocolate? 7. So that means I'm going to need 7 cones for chocolate. I already put 1, so I'm going to need 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. How many am I going to draw for strawberry? 3. 3 people selected strawberry and 4 people selected cookies and cream. So I would draw or place a symbol of 3 ice cream cones for strawberry and 4 ice cream cones for cookies and cream. Let's add it. Ms. Ward changed the slide quicker than I planned to, but I wanted to give you one more look at that pictograph that we created. So now it reflects the same data as our tally chart. It shows us that we have 6 people that selected vanilla, 7 selected chocolate, 3 selected strawberry, and 4 people selected cookies and cream. But we use pictures or symbols to represent the information. Now we want to analyze the data. When we analyze the data, that means we're taking a closer look at the information to see what does it tell us. So when I look at these charts, my tally chart and my pictograph, can you figure out which flavor ice cream was the favorite? How would we know which one was the favorite? You're right, the one that is the favorite is going to have the most votes. So which one had the most votes? Ding, 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 you guessed it. Chocolate had the most votes. So chocolate was the most favorite ice cream. Miss Ward's favorite is vanilla. Which flavor ice cream was the least popular? We have heard that word least in our lessons prior to this, so we know least means not the favorite, the smallest. So which one had the smallest amount of votes? Strawberry. Strawberry was the least favorite in this survey. And lastly, it says which two flavors had a total of 7 votes. So if they ask me which two flavors, I know I need to put two of my choices together. And when I add them together, it should equal 7. So just by looking at the chart, I'm looking at my pictograph to see which two topics could I put together that will equal 7. I know that chocolate already has 7, so I can't add anything to chocolate because it would be more than 7. I can see that vanilla has 6, and the only thing I can add to 6 that would equal 7 is 1. And none of them only had 1, so it couldn't be vanilla. So that means I'm going to take a look at strawberry and cookies and cream. Strawberry had 3, and cookies and cream had 4. So if I take 3 and 4 and put it together, I am going to get 3 plus 4 equals 7. Yes, 3 plus 4 equals 7. So which two flavors did we put together for a total of 7? Strawberry and cookies and cream. Give yourself a pat on the back. Now, let's do a check for understanding. Look at this tally graph. And what I want you to do is see if you can figure out, Miss Ward just told you. What type of graph is this? Did you catch it? Did you hear me? Somebody said they heard it. This type of graph is a tally graph. Yes, it was easy for you because you heard me say it. What would be a good title for this graph? On the graph, it says dog, cat, and bird. So what could be a good title for this? Favorite animals? Favorite pet? Good ideas. What information can we tell from this chart? Can we tell which animal was liked the most? Which animal was selected the least? Were any of the animals selected the same amount? All of that is information we can get from this chart. Now it is your turn, boys and girls. I want you to use the data that we just viewed to create your own pictograph. So we used a tally graph. On the tally graph, it had the choices of dog, cat, and bird. So use the data that is represented here in this chart to create your own pictograph. Remember, make sure you put a title for your graph. Don't forget to include a key for your graph. List your choices and choose the symbol that you're going to use to represent each vote or each selection. And remember, boys and girls, Miss Ward always likes to leave you with a challenge. So if you really want to be a superstar, you can create your own questions that could be answered by this pictograph. Thanks for tuning in with me today, boys and girls. I enjoyed working with you. Miss Ward is leaving this on the screen for a few more seconds so that you can copy it down and use it to create your pictograph. And I can't wait to see you next time. Be sure to tune in.